What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode with my pal Alex and Feisty Pants.
Alright, so what did Enzo and Cass say when they were making some pasta on the stove? We got a couple strainers! Oh my god! Oh, dude, I can't even take myself. Q&A! This is Q&A 105 while I cook some dinner. God damn it. Colt Alvarez says, what do you think if Dean lost his title the next night on Raw after winning it at Money in the Bank and he cashed in and all that jazz? And I would say not only would that be the worst slap in the face for a one-night victory and a one-night reign, but for like a wrestler of Dean's caliber, that would be an ultimate slap in the face where you're basically telling Dean he doesn't amount to anything because, you know, because he's losing it the next night on Raw. That would be the worst thing ever, and I'm so glad that they didn't do it. Because I think Dean is, you know, he's completely over with the fans, number one. You know, there's no doubt about that. And number two, I think he's long deserved a title shot. Way better than Roman Reigns when, at Roadblock, when Dean Ambrose just out of nowhere fought Triple H for the title before Roman Reigns won it at WrestleMania. I said Dean Ambrose should win it, creating a new main event at WrestleMania where there's a fatal four-way between Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and Triple H. And then maybe from there, the winner becomes whoever, you know, I mean, but they wanted to go the route of Roman Reigns and just, you know, he's got to beat Triple H. Triple H is going to put him over. That'll make it better. Yeah. This is why people shouldn't be writing for WWE. It should be me and Grim and the guys. Paul Willis, what's up, man? Wants to know who is the most dateable female on the roster. Paige, Sasha Banks, or Becky Lynch. I said I liked all three, and he's like, at once? And I'm like, hey, if, you know, if we're talking. Paul also wants to know, what's my baseball card collection worth? I've always thought that it's worth what somebody is going to pay for it. Now, I'm not looking to give it away for $100. I mean, obviously, it's worth, you know, something, but at the same time, I don't think it's worth $1 million because, I mean, who's going to pay $1 million for Andy Van Slyke cards? Andy Van Slyke wasn't going to pay that much for his own cards. And my reaction to Roman Reigns being suspended, I'm flabbergasted. Of all people, you know, he's got a family, damn it! You know, and he goes on about, you know, what's right and what's wrong, and, you know, he wants to do things the right way, and then he goes and gets suspended for violating the wellness policy. Unfathomable. Doubling Wayne wants to know, what are my thoughts? He tweeted me and Grim the other day. He's like, what are your thoughts? But he didn't say on what. And I was off that day, and I just happened to see the tweet. And I'm like, well, I'm on my day off. I'm wondering what time I'm going to get in the shower and then eventually make it out of the house because I had errands to run. And, you know, I did hashtag lazy day, and I thought I was laughing at myself as I'm typing the whole thing. It was hilarious. Doubling Dwayne, I hope you enjoyed my laughter. I believe you did. Colby Duty! Colby sent me some awesome fucking fan mail for this past Friday. I'll link it for you. It was awesome. Colby, you're the best. He wants to know, when do you record your videos? And why didn't you go to Extreme Rules with Grim and Duha, being that it was in New Jersey? I actually could not get off from work back in, when the hell was that, last month? It's cool to go to a wrestling event, you know, and who asked if, what was the last one that I went to? At Wise Vega, he asked if I've ever been to wrestling events, what was my favorite. The last one I went to was NXT in Brooklyn last summer. It was really cool. NXT and SummerSlam was that same weekend. NXT blew the roof off. Sasha Banks had a rematch with Bayley, as Bayley was champ, and they were by far the best match of the entire weekend. WWE main event including. And back to Colby's other question, when do I record my vids? It depends. Sometimes I do it the day before, sometimes I do it the day of, sometimes I do it like weeks in advance. Like our hauls, Feisty Pants and I, when we go pick up stuff at Toys R Us, usually it's been Pokemon cards lately, a whole lot. And we film those like a bunch at a time, you know? Usually the Q&A and the fan mails I do like the day before, so that I have like the night before to edit it all together. Marty Young wants to know, how do you get mentioned in fan mail? You leave me comments in the videos, or you tweet me, or, you know, if you guys are using Amino and, you know, we're chatting and we have a good conversation going, I'll make mention of it. Unless you're crazy enough to send me something in the fan mail, you send it to Alex's Toy Show, P.O. Box 13, Bayville, New Jersey, 08721. And if it's something I can open on camera and then, in turn, make a separate video for, then I totally will. Marty is also starting his first training session this weekend, so good luck to Marty. He's going to be a wrestler. The Phenomenal Girl wants to know, will I see Suicide Squad, and who's my favorite character? Oh yeah, we were tweeting about this the other day. I'm totally going to see it. It's a matter of more or less is how many times am I going to go see it. I do like the character they picked up for Harley Quinn. Her character was Harley Quinn. She's got a whole t-shirt thing and everything. But the Joker was always my best Batman villain, and I always thought he was great. And then Heath Ledger comes along, and he's like a friggin' genius. And now they got this Jared Leto guy, and I'm like, I don't know. I'll see how he is, you know? Joshua Dervishin is at Nightwing Prime, Batman fan, right? Nightwing, he was Robin. Thoughts on Dean winning? I think it's great. I was talking about that before. At Tony, 418-02477. Dude, make yourself a name. Come on. He goes, why do you curse on Grimm's Toy Show and not on yours? Well, usually my show, I do curse once in a while, but my show I do with my son, and I'm not going to go foul mouth in front of him. But when I'm just with the guys hanging out, you know, it's like, anything goes. Colt Alvarez is back, and he wants to know Daniel Bryan as commentator. Finally! Somebody who's not boring. God, I can't stand everybody else. Oh, finally. It's a great idea. Bloodshots wants to know, what Major League Baseball team would I pitch for? I'd pitch for anybody, honestly. I mean, the Yankees are my favorite team, and I would love to pitch there. But you know, you got to go all the way to New York and blah, 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 and I don't know. It's almost ready. Jace Diaz wants to know, what's my favorite 1980s arcade game, and what did I think of Warcraft? I'm going to link you the Warcraft movie review. And believe it or not, back, I went with the original Champ to see it. Me and my brother, we went to go see it. We're like, yeah, we gotta go see it. Believe it or not, back in the day, when it rained, that was the only time that we played video games, honestly. We were a generation of kids who got home and just went outside and we just did stuff. Well, like, what are you going to sit inside for? You've been sitting inside in school all day long, and now you're home and you're free. You get your homework done, you're like, bam, let's go do something. Usually we were playing baseball. Pac-Man. I was great at Pac-Man. Space Invaders, Combat. Somebody asked me this a Q&A ago or so. I forget which one. I think it was 103 or 104. It was definitely one of the last two that I did. But here's the Pac-Man tournament my brother and I did. We played against each other while we were waiting for Warcraft to start. We got there kind of early. Teddy Long wants to know, Teddy Long or Bill Buckner, holler holler. Well, Teddy Long is not a commentator. He's like the GM for SmackDown back in the day. And Bill Buckner is the first baseman who missed the ball playing in the World Series against the Mets, allowing the Mets to win the World Series in 1986. But Bill Buckner was then shamed for the rest of his life. He was actually a good player, believe it or not, but he will always be remembered for missing that ball. It's a shame. I feel bad for Bill. Mike, the Little Devil, wants to know, he didn't know that I liked Metallica. What's my favorite song and album? Dude, I like them all. How do you pick one? I mean, Metallica's like a great, they're like great. I don't know. I do like the S&M album that they did with the orchestra, and on there is The Outlaw. Yeah, that came out really good. And Battery at the very end is one of the bonus tracks on there, like after they close the show. It's a live concert, 2 CD set. You'll find it. David Griffin wants to know his pile of questions. Now, great, David, I don't watch South Park, so I can't answer your last two questions. But my thoughts on DX actions in the past month as Slender Man. Don't care. He's a pain in the ass. If it's him again, he's just going to get another punch in the face and another beatdown. Which Major League Baseball teams will be in first place at the All-Star break? Definitely the Cubs. Anybody else, it's a toss-up. My reaction, if Pee Wee Herman showed up my door, I would shut the door and I would call the cops. I'd be like, Pee Wee Herman is at my house. Send help, please. Why do you hate Jerry Lawler? I just don't like the guy. He wasn't the greatest wrestler. I don't know how he ended up as a commentator, but I don't buy his line of bullshit. And here he is, he's, you know, however old he is, he's married to a girl, dating a girl, I don't even know. The domestic abuse. I mean, it's not cool that you beat up your wife or your spouse or your girlfriend or whoever it is. I don't know. I don't know the whole story. I don't know his problems. He's got a bad relationship with his son. I mean, it's not anything to look up to. So why should I admire the guy? You know what I'm saying? How cool would an iCarly reunion special be? I mean, I would watch it. It wouldn't be the coolest thing in the world. I mean, the show only ended a year or two ago. Usually you have reunions like, you know, somewhere down the line when people are like, you know, way on to other things. Like Friends. Friends is off the air like 10 years or more. Cheers, even longer. Get reunions of those. I'd watch it. I'd love that. Nirvana and what are my thoughts on Nirvana and the crazy video for Heart-Shaped Box? It's Nirvana. That's who they were. What can you do? My thoughts on Trish and Vince's relationship story. It was a story. That's another one. Here's Vince McMahon, owner of the company, CEO or whatever the hell he is, and he's married and he's romancing all the divas. That's the guy I look up to. You know what I'm saying? What a piece of shit. I'm so glad Shane is running the company now, Shane and Stephanie. Which WWE Dream Team would I want to face DF? Why? What does that even matter? How about Razor Ramon and Diesel, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall? Those are like, they're legends of the, you know, they're legends in the business, and Scott Hall is Grimm's favorite wrestler. How about that? Jason Lee wants to know, do I watch the Flash TV show? Yes, I do. Chris Gordon. Chris wants to know if I had one match against him, what would it be? He prefers a barbed wire massacre match. I said it would be a what the fuck am I doing here match because I don't know who he is and why I would be wrestling him at all. And the winner would be decided by the person who finds a clue. Geo Bob, what's up, man? We've been chatting a little while on Twitter. He wants to know what's my favorite baseball team. His is the Rangers and the Angels, and he likes Mike Trout. Mike Trout's a great baseball player. I will applaud. I will applaud that. But my favorite team, I think I said earlier, is the Yankees. You know, local team for me. I've liked them forever. At Marvin Banks wants to know if I'm going to get Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens when it comes out. You know what? It looks pretty cool. I love the movie, but all the Lego games seem to be the same. And I feel that it's just going to be a letdown. Like, we have Jurassic World upstairs for Xbox 360. And Feisty Pants, just like, we played it, and we beat a couple levels, and he got bored with it, because it's just the same movie. We have older Star Wars Lego games for the Wii. Boring. You know, like you're playing one, we just put it in another. I was like, oh, I think I need to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So maybe I'll probably rent it and check it out. I got a local place that rents them. Grim Death Griffin wants to know, is there anything more concrete on independent wrestlers getting their own action figures, and how do I feel about it? I think there should be a company that makes action figures for people. Now, there probably is. I probably don't know about it. But I do know about this one company, I can't think who they are, but somebody turned me on to them about a week or probably 2 weeks ago. And they take the old Kenner action figures, you know, they're like, oh, I posed like this, and you turn them, and that's what they did. And some of them, you know, shot up like that, and some of them are just posed this way, like they can wrestle, and, you know, stuff like that. And they take those wrestlers, they paint them over into an image, you know, that you submit of yourself, and then they print that image on a card and they package it for you, and they want like $500. And I'm like, what? $500? That just sounds like way too much. But I would love it. I mean, I'm great at painting up some Transformers for Feisty Pants to play with. He loves the ones we did a custom Transformer War of all, and it features all the custom, most of the customs, I should say, not all of them. It features most of all the custom Transformers that I've painted for him to play with. I'll link it for you so you can see what I'm talking about. But wrestling, I haven't really done any custom wrestlers, so I don't know how that would play out. I think it would be great if there was a company that did it at a reasonable price. Olin Hall wants to know if my son is named Alex, can I consider that a shout out? See, I don't do shout-outs because I feel it's just like a gimme, you know, like, oh, hey, shout out to this guy, shout out to that guy. If I did shout-outs for people, we would just have like a 15-minute video of shout-outs, and there would be no rest of the video. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason why I don't do shout-outs. But what I do is I read the comments from my videos all week long on fan mail, and I do questions like this every Q&A on Sunday. And, you know, I feel the participation warrants you a mention in a video. Participation is like, you know, it goes hand in hand, you know? You participate and you get an A in class. That's how it works. but a shout out, I just won't do them. If you want to consider that a shout out, that's fine. But it's not a shout out by definition. No. All right, so leave your questions in the comments. Like I just said, here's a video. Here's a link for the video on the most important part of the show. Like this video, leave me a comment and subscribe for more. I need to go eat some food. Not poo. I don't eat poo.